Always be willing to confront people that are trying to control you or manipulate you. And the world's full of them.
Joyce Meyer's life and ministry have been a testament to resilience, transformation, and unyielding faith. A widely recognized figure in Christian ministry, her story is both inspiring and complex, marked by immense personal challenges and an unwavering commitment to her calling. Born Pauline Joyce Hutcherson on June 4, 1943 in St. Louis, Missouri, she grew up in a household filled with trauma and instability. Her father, a World War II veteran, returned from the war deeply scarred and emotionally detached, inflicting unspeakable abuse upon her throughout her childhood. Her mother, also a victim of the dysfunction, failed to intervene, leaving Joyce to navigate a tumultuous and painful upbringing on her own. Despite this dark and harrowing beginning, Joyce credits her faith in God as the anchor that kept her alive during her most difficult moments. At just 9 years old, Joyce experienced a pivotal moment of spiritual awakening, becoming a born-again Christian. This moment, which she describes as life-changing, planted the seeds of hope and perseverance that would guide her throughout her life. However, the road ahead was fraught with further struggles. As a young adult, Joyce entered into her first marriage, which turned out to be a deeply painful and destructive relationship. Her husband was unfaithful and manipulative, coercing her into embezzling payroll checks, an act that she would come to deeply regret. The marriage ended in divorce, leaving Joyce to raise her son as a single mother. It was during this challenging time that she met Dave Meyer, the man who would become her second husband. Dave brought stability, kindness, and love into her life, helping her to heal from her past wounds and giving her the foundation to pursue her greater calling. In 1976, while driving to work, Joyce had a profound spiritual experience that altered the course of her life. She felt an undeniable calling to take a more active role in spreading God's word. This moment of clarity led her to start small Bible study groups at a local cafe, where her natural ability to connect with people and share spiritual truths quickly garnered attention. Her teachings resonated deeply, and it wasn't long before she became an associate pastor at a church in St. Louis. By 1985, Joyce made the bold decision to leave her church position and establish her own ministry, originally called Life in the Word. This marked a turning point in her life and the beginning of what would eventually evolve into Joyce Meyer Ministries, a global enterprise that now reaches millions of people around the world. Joyce Meyer Ministries has grown exponentially over the years, becoming one of the most influential Christian organizations in the world. Her television program, Enjoying Everyday Life, airs in 40 languages across more than 900 television and radio stations worldwide. Through this program, she offers practical advice, spiritual encouragement, and messages of hope to a diverse audience. Beyond the reach of her television program, her ministry has undertaken numerous impactful initiatives, including the Hand of Hope outreach program, which focuses on providing disaster relief, medical aid, food, and support to communities in need. Whether through feeding programs, medical missions, or educational support, Joyce Meyer Ministries has consistently sought to uplift and empower individuals facing difficult circumstances. While Joyce's work has touched millions and brought hope to countless lives, her journey has not been without its share of controversy. One of the most persistent criticisms she faces relates to her lifestyle, which some view as extravagant. Reports highlighting her multi-million-dollar homes, a $10 million private jet, and the luxurious furnishings in her ministry's headquarters have raised eyebrows among both supporters and detractors. Critics argue that such a lifestyle conflicts with the Christian values of humility and simplicity, which often emphasize service to others over personal comfort. In response, Joyce has been unapologetic about her success, describing it as a blessing from God and a result of years of hard work and dedication. She insists that her personal wealth does not detract from her ministry's mission, and emphasizes that it is possible to be prosperous while serving God. In an effort to address public concern over her financial practices, Joyce took a significant step in 2004 by reducing her ministry salary, which at the time had reached $900,000 annually. She instead began relying on royalties from her book sales as her primary source of income. While this move was intended to quell criticism, it inadvertently raised further questions about how much she personally profits from her various ventures. The scrutiny intensified in 2007 when the U.S. Senate, led by Senator Chuck Grassley, launched an investigation into several tax-exempt religious organizations, including Joyce Meyer Ministries. The investigation sought to determine whether donations were being misused for personal enrichment. Joyce cooperated fully with the inquiry, providing detailed clarifications on various expenses, including the infamous $23,000 commode, which was later revealed to be a chest of drawers rather than a lavish toilet. Ultimately, the investigation found no wrongdoing, and Joyce Meyer Ministries earned accreditation from the Evangelical Council for Financial Accountability in 2009, reflecting its commitment to transparency and financial integrity. One of the most tragic and challenging moments in Joyce Meyer Ministries' history occurred in 2009 with the murder of Christopher Coleman's family. Coleman, who served as the ministry's head of security, was convicted of brutally killing his wife, Sherry, and their two young sons, Garrett and Gavin. The case drew national media attention, not only because of its horrific nature, but also because of Coleman's close association with the ministry. Prosecutors argued that Coleman committed the murders to pursue an extramarital affair, fearing that a divorce would jeopardize his job at the ministry. The case raised difficult questions about the ministry's response to potential threats against Coleman's family and its ability to manage personal crises within its ranks. While Joyce Meyer testified during the trial, expressing her deep shock and sadness over the tragedy, the incident remains a dark chapter in the ministry's history. In recent years, Joyce has continued to make bold and surprising choices, demonstrating her willingness to embrace modern expressions of faith. In 2023, at the age of 79, she made headlines by revealing that she had gotten her first tattoos. The tattoos, which feature a cross and the words, "I belong to Jesus," were inspired by Isaiah 49:16, which speaks of being engraved on God's hands. This decision sparked a theological debate within the Christian community, with some praising her for her modern and relatable expression of faith, while others criticized the move as a departure from traditional interpretations of Scripture. Joyce addressed the backlash head-on, emphasizing that her choice was deeply personal and a reflection of her relationship with God. She encouraged her followers to embrace individual expressions of faith, highlighting the evolving nature of Christianity in contemporary society. Throughout her life, Joyce Meyer has remained steadfast in her commitment to helping others. Her ministry's outreach programs, including Project GRL and numerous disaster relief initiatives, continue to make a significant impact on communities around the world. Her story, marked by both triumph and controversy, is a testament to the power of faith, resilience, and the human spirit. Despite facing criticism and challenges, Joyce Meyer's influence on millions of lives remains undeniable, solidifying her legacy as one of the most prominent Christian leaders of her time. Joyce Meyer's future is likely to involve a continued focus on adapting her ministry to the needs of an ever-evolving world. She has already demonstrated a willingness to embrace modern tools and methods, and this adaptability will likely shape her path forward. Digital platforms are expected to become an even greater focus, allowing her message to reach broader and more diverse audiences. As younger generations increasingly turn to online spaces for spiritual guidance, Joyce's ministry may delve deeper into creating interactive digital content, including live-streamed events, virtual Bible studies, and podcasts. These platforms could allow her to maintain a personal connection with followers and offer them the flexibility to engage with her teachings on their own terms. As her ministry grows, she may begin to focus more on preparing a legacy that ensures the continuation of her mission beyond her active leadership. This could involve mentoring emerging leaders within the Christian community who share her vision and values. By empowering the next generation of faith leaders, Joyce can ensure that the work she began will remain impactful and relevant in the years to come. Her mentorship might take the form of leadership training programs, conferences, or partnerships with other ministries aimed at fostering a new wave of spiritual leaders who are prepared to navigate the complexities of modern ministry. Joyce's prolific writing career is also likely to continue as a cornerstone of her outreach. Over the years, her books have provided millions with practical advice and spiritual encouragement. As she continues to evolve in her personal journey, new works may reflect her insights on contemporary issues, offering guidance on navigating challenges in faith, relationships, and personal growth in a rapidly changing world. Her unique ability to blend unfiltered honesty with deeply spiritual messages ensures that her writings will remain influential. The philanthropic arm of her ministry is expected to expand further.
This is something that you must do for yourself. We are not weak and wimpy, we are warriors.
In a world filled with uncertainty and chaos, one woman remains steadfast in her faith and commitment to spreading the message of hope and inspiration. What is happening to Joyce Meyer is so sad. She has been dealing with some personal and ministry-related issues. Joyce Meyer has faced a wrongful death lawsuit against Joyce Meyer Ministries and was featured in an episode of Forensic Files 2, highlighting the 2009 murder of Sherry Coleman and her two sons by her husband Christopher Coleman, who was the chief of security at Joyce Meyer Ministries. In 2009, a horrific crime shook the small town of Columbia, Illinois. Sherry Coleman and her two young sons, Garrett and Gavin, were found brutally murdered in their home. The investigation led police to Christopher Coleman, Sherry's husband and the father of the two boys. What the police discovered was shocking. Christopher Coleman was not only the killer, but he was also the chief of security at Joyce Meyer Ministries. As the trial unfolded, it became clear that Christopher Coleman had been leading a double life. On the surface, he was a devoted husband and father, but in reality, he was having an affair with a woman named Tara Lentz. Christopher Coleman had been planning the murder for months, using his position at Joyce Meyer Ministries to gather information and resources. He even used the ministry's email system to send threatening messages to himself, making it look like he and his family were in danger. The trial was highly publicized, and Joyce Meyer Ministries was criticized for handling the situation. The ministry had employed Christopher Coleman as its chief of security, despite his lack of experience and qualifications. The Coleman family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Joyce Meyer Ministries, alleging that the ministry had been negligent in its hiring and supervision of Christopher Coleman. The lawsuit was settled out of court in 2012, with Joyce Meyer Ministries agreeing to pay an undisclosed amount to the Coleman family. The tragic death of Sherry Coleman and her sons serves as a reminder of the devastating consequences of domestic violence and the importance of holding institutions accountable for their actions. Joyce Meyer Ministries has since implemented new hiring and supervision policies, but the legacy of the Coleman tragedy continues to be felt. This tragic event reminds us of the importance of accountability and transparency, and the need for institutions to prioritize the safety and well-being of their employees and the communities they serve. Joyce Meyer is a world-renowned American Christian author, speaker, and Bible teacher who has been a pillar of strength and inspiration to millions of people around the globe. Born on June 4, 1943, in St. Louis, Missouri, Joyce's life is a testament to the power of faith, resilience, and determination. Joyce's early life was marked by adversity and hardship. She was born to a teenage mother and was later abandoned by her father. Despite facing numerous challenges, including being sexually abused as a child, when her mother paid no attention to her, she found solace in her faith and the teachings of the Bible. In her early 20s, Joyce married her first husband, but the marriage was short-lived and they were divorced. It was during this period of her life that Joyce began to develop a deeper understanding of God's love and grace. She started attending church regularly and began to study the Bible in earnest. Joyce's spiritual journey took a significant turn in 1976, when she had a life-changing experience with God. This encounter marked the beginning of her ministry, and she soon began teaching Bible studies and speaking at local churches. In the 1980s, Joyce's ministry began to gain momentum. She started a radio ministry, Life in the Word, which quickly gained popularity. Her straightforward, no-nonsense approach to teaching the Bible resonated with listeners from all walks of life. Throughout the 1990s and 2000s, Joyce's ministry continued to expand. She wrote numerous best-selling books, including Battlefield of the Mind, Beauty for Ashes, and The Power of a Praying Woman. Her television program, Enjoying Everyday Life, was broadcast globally, reaching millions of viewers. Today, Joyce Meyer Ministries is a global organization that reaches millions of people through various media outlets, including television, radio, and online platforms. Joyce's teachings focus on empowering believers to live victorious lives by applying biblical principles to everyday challenges. Through her ministry, Joyce has helped countless people find hope, healing, and restoration. Her candid, straightforward approach has endeared her to audiences from diverse backgrounds, making her a beloved and trusted spiritual leader. Joyce Meyer, a renowned Christian author, speaker, and Bible teacher, has been at the center of several financial controversies over the years. While Meyer has built a reputation as a respected and influential Christian leader, her financial dealings have raised eyebrows and sparked criticism from some quarters. One of the earliest financial controversies surrounding Joyce Meyer dates back to the 1990s when she was criticized for her lavish lifestyle. Meyer had built a multi-million-dollar ministry and was known for her expensive clothing, jewelry, and luxury homes. Critics accused her of using donations from her followers to fund her lavish lifestyle. In 2005, Joyce Meyer Ministries was one of 6 Christian ministries investigated by the Senate Finance Committee, chaired by Senator Chuck Grassley. The investigation focused on the financial dealings of several high-profile Christian ministries, including Meyer's. The committee raised questions about Meyer's use of ministry funds for personal expenses, including the purchase of a private jet and several luxury homes. Meyer responded to the investigation by stating that she had done nothing wrong and that her ministry was transparent about its financial dealings. However, the investigation led to changes in the way Meyer's ministry reported its finances and used donations. Another financial controversy surrounding Joyce Meyer involves her compensation package. According to reports, Meyer receives a significant salary from her ministry, as well as other benefits, such as the use of a private jet and luxury homes. Critics have accused Meyer of using ministry funds to enrich herself, rather than using the funds to support charitable causes. Joyce Meyer has responded to these criticisms by stating that her compensation package is reasonable and that she uses her ministry funds to support a wide range of charitable causes. However, the controversy has led to calls for greater transparency and accountability in the way Christian ministries report their finances and use donations. In recent years, Joyce Meyer has faced criticism for her ministry's lack of transparency and accountability. In 2019, the Evangelical Council for Financial Accountability, ECFA, removed Joyce Meyer Ministries from its membership list due to concerns about the ministry's financial transparency and governance. The controversy surrounding Joyce Meyer's financial dealings has sparked a wider debate about the role of Christian ministries in society and the need for greater transparency and accountability in their financial dealings. While Meyer has built a reputation as a respected and influential Christian leader, her financial controversies have raised important questions about the use of ministry funds and the need for greater accountability and transparency. As the debate surrounding Joyce Meyer's financial dealings continues, one thing is clear. The need for transparency and accountability in Christian ministries is more important than ever. By examining the financial dealings of Christian ministries like Joyce Meyer Ministries, we can work towards creating a more transparent and accountable Christian community. More recently, Meyer's leadership style has been criticized by former employees and ministry insiders. These critics have accused Meyer of being controlling and manipulative, using her power and influence to silence critics and maintain her authority. Meyer has responded to these criticisms by arguing that her leadership style is necessary to maintain order and discipline within her ministry. She has also emphasized her commitment to accountability and transparency, pointing to her ministry's financial disclosures and governance structure as evidence of her accountability. However, critics argue that Meyer's leadership style is not only authoritarian, but also unaccountable. They point to the lack of transparency and accountability within Meyer's ministry, and her refusal to submit to external oversight or accountability. The criticism of Joyce Meyer's authoritarian leadership style raises important questions about the nature of Christian leadership and the importance of accountability and transparency within Christian ministries. Joyce Meyer has been at the center of controversy surrounding her views on women's roles. The controversy surrounding Joyce Meyer's views on women's roles serves as a reminder of the ongoing debate within the Christian community about the role of women in the church and society. While Meyer's views may be controversial, they have sparked an important conversation about the importance of mutual submission and respect in marriage, and the need for women to be free to pursue their callings and careers without restriction. She believes that the Bible teaches that women are to submit to their husbands, and that men are to be the spiritual leaders of their households. While Meyer acknowledges that women can and should play important roles in the church and society, she believes that these roles should be secondary to their roles as wives and mothers. Meyer has responded to these criticisms by arguing that her views on women's roles are based on a careful reading of Scripture, and that they are intended to promote healthy and fulfilling relationships between men and women. She has also emphasized the importance of women playing important roles in the church and society, while also prioritizing their roles as wives and mothers. Another lawsuit was filed against the ministry of Joyce Meyer, which was filed in 2012, alleging that Meyer's ministry had misused funds and engaged in other financial improprieties. The lawsuit was filed by a former employee of Joyce Meyer Ministries, who alleged that the ministry had engaged in a range of financial improprieties, including the misuse of funds, the payment of excessive salaries to ministry executives, and the failure to disclose financial information to the public. This lawsuit also alleged that Meyer's ministry had used funds to support Meyer's lavish lifestyle, including the purchase of a private jet, a luxury home, and expensive clothing and jewelry. Joyce Meyer responded to the lawsuit by denying all allegations of financial impropriety. She stated that her ministry was transparent about its finances, and that all funds were used for legitimate ministry purposes. Meyer also stated that the lawsuit was an attempt to discredit her and her ministry, and that it was motivated by a desire for financial gain. The lawsuit was eventually settled out of court, with the terms of the settlement remaining confidential. Despite the settlement, the controversy surrounding Joyce Meyer's ministry finances has continued to be a topic of debate and discussion within the Christian community. Joyce Meyer's ministry finances have been criticized for a lack of transparency and accountability. Critics have argued that Meyer's ministry has failed to disclose financial information to the public and that it has used funds for questionable purposes. Once the Senate Finance Committee, chaired by Senator Chuck Grassley, launched an investigation into the financial dealings of several high-profile Christian ministries, including Joyce Meyer Ministries. The investigation found that Meyer's ministry had used funds to support Meyer's lavish lifestyle, including the purchase of a private jet and a luxury home. While Joyce Meyer has denied all allegations of financial impropriety, the controversy has highlighted the need for Christian ministries to be transparent about their finances and to use funds for legitimate ministry purposes. Joyce Meyer was also criticized for her views on homosexuality. Background of the controversy surrounding Joyce Meyer's views on homosexuality began in the early 2000s, when Meyer started to speak publicly about the issue. Meyer's teachings on homosexuality were based on her interpretation of biblical scripture, in which she believed that homosexuality is condemned in the Christian religion and is a sin. Joyce Meyer's views on homosexuality are rooted in her conservative Christian theology. She believes that homosexuality is contrary to God's design for human relationships. Meyer has stated that she loves and accepts people who identify as LGBTQ+, but that she cannot support their behavior. Joyce Meyer's views on homosexuality have been criticized by many within the Christian community and by the people who follow her because homosexuality is very common in them. Critics argue that Meyer's teachings on homosexuality are overly simplistic and fail to take into account the complexity of human sexuality. They also argue that Meyer's views are hurtful and damaging to LGBTQ+ individuals who may already feel marginalized and excluded from the Christian community. Despite the criticisms, Joyce Meyer's views on homosexuality have been supported by many within the conservative Christian community. Supporters argue that Meyer's teachings on homosexuality are based on a clear and consistent reading of biblical scripture, and that they reflect a commitment to upholding traditional Christian values. The controversy surrounding her views in this regard is a complex and multifaceted issue. While Meyer's teachings on homosexuality have been criticized by many, they have also been supported by others within the conservative Christian community. Ultimately, the controversy highlights the need for ongoing dialogue and discussion within the Christian community about the nature of human sexuality and the role of LGBTQ+ individuals within the church. Joyce Meyer has also shared her experiences with emotional abuse and trauma. Her story is a powerful testament to the human spirit's capacity for resilience, healing, and transformation. Born on June 4, 1943, in St. Louis, Missouri, Joyce grew up in a dysfunctional home. Her father, a World War II veteran, struggled with anger and alcoholism, creating a toxic environment for Joyce and her family. The emotional abuse Joyce suffered at the hands of her father had a profound impact on her life, shaping her self-perception, relationships, and overall well-being. One of the most significant effects of Joyce's emotional abuse was her struggle with low self-esteem. She has spoken publicly about feeling worthless, unlovable, and unworthy of happiness. These negative self-perceptions haunted Joyce for many years, influencing her relationships and decision-making. Despite these challenges, Joyce found solace in her faith. She began attending church and studying the Bible, which helped her develop a stronger sense of self-worth and purpose. Joyce's faith also gave her the courage to seek help and support, including therapy and counseling. In the 1970s, Joyce began sharing her story publicly, using her experiences to help others heal from emotional abuse and trauma. Her transparency and vulnerability have inspired countless people around the world, demonstrating that healing, restoration, and redemption are possible. Today, Joyce Meyer is a respected voice on issues related to emotional abuse, trauma, and recovery. Her teachings emphasize the importance of self-care, boundary setting, and seeking support. Joyce's story serves as a powerful reminder that no one is alone in their struggles, and that healing is always possible. As Joyce often says, "You can't change your past, but you can change your future." Her life is a testament to the human spirit's capacity for resilience, healing, and transformation. Joyce Meyer's life has been a testament to her unwavering faith. But one of her most challenging experiences was her diagnosis and triumph over breast cancer. In 1989, Joyce Meyer received the devastating news that she had breast cancer. At the time, Joyce was a successful Bible teacher and speaker, but this diagnosis brought her to her knees. Joyce has spoken publicly about the fear and uncertainty that gripped her when she first heard the news. She had always been a strong and confident person, but this diagnosis made her feel vulnerable and powerless. Despite her fears, Joyce knew that she had to face this challenge head-on. She underwent surgery and radiation treatment, and she also made significant changes to her diet and lifestyle. Throughout her treatment, Joyce leaned heavily on her faith and her support system. She has spoken about the importance of having a strong network of friends and family during this time, and she has also talked about the ways in which her faith helped her to stay positive and focused. One of the most significant challenges that Joyce faced during her breast cancer treatment was the emotional toll that it took on her. She has spoken about feeling anxious, depressed, and fearful at times, but she has also talked about how she was able to find peace and comfort during these challenges. Joyce's experience with breast cancer had a profound impact on her life and ministry. It taught her the importance of living in the present moment, and it also gave her a newfound appreciation for the beauty and fragility of life. Today, Joyce Meyer is a breast cancer survivor and advocate. She has used her platform to raise awareness about breast cancer and to encourage others to take control of their health. Her bravery and resilience in the face of this challenge are an inspiration to countless people around the world. Joyce's story is a powerful reminder that breast cancer can affect anyone, regardless of their age, background, or circumstances. It also highlights the importance of early detection, treatment, and support. Joyce Meyer has also suffered from osteoporosis, which is a very chronic disease, and this disease has affected her in a very dangerous way. In her 50s, Joyce began experiencing symptoms of osteoporosis, including back pain, brittle bones, and a loss of height. At first, she attributed these symptoms to aging, but as they worsened, she knew she needed to seek medical attention. After undergoing a series of tests, Joyce received a diagnosis of osteoporosis. She was shocked and devastated by the news, as she had always been active and healthy. However, Joyce was determined to take control of her health and to find ways to manage her osteoporosis. Joyce's treatment plan included a combination of medication, exercise, and lifestyle changes. She began taking calcium and vitamin D supplements to help strengthen her bones, and she also started a regular exercise program that included weight-bearing activities, such as walking and strength training. In addition to these physical changes, Joyce also made emotional and spiritual adjustments. She learned to prioritize her health and well-being, and she also found ways to manage her stress and anxiety. Joyce's faith played a significant role in her journey, as she learned to trust God and to find peace in the midst of uncertainty. Today, Joyce Meyer is an osteoporosis advocate and a voice of hope for those living with this condition. Her story is a powerful reminder that osteoporosis is not just a natural part of aging, but rather a manageable condition that can be treated with the right combination of medication, exercise, and lifestyle changes. As Joyce often says, osteoporosis may be a part of my life, but it does not define me. I am more than my illness, and I am determined to live a life that is full, happy, and healthy. While Meyer has built a reputation as a respected and influential Christian leader, her teachings on healing have sparked criticism and debate within the Christian community. The controversies surrounding Joyce Meyer's teachings on healing began several years ago, when Meyer started teaching that it is always God's will to heal believers. Meyer argued that healing is a fundamental aspect of the Christian faith, and that believers should expect to receive healing from God. Critics of Meyer's teachings argued that her views on healing were overly simplistic and failed to take into account the complexities of human suffering. Critics also argued that Meyer's teachings on healing could lead to disappointment and disillusionment for believers who do not receive healing. Joyce Meyer responded to the criticism by arguing that her teachings on healing are based on a careful reading of Scripture. Meyer pointed to passages such as Matthew 8:17, which states that Jesus took up our infirmities and bore our diseases, and argued that these passages demonstrate that healing is a fundamental aspect of the Christian faith. Meyer also argued that her teachings on healing are not intended to create unrealistic expectations or to imply that believers will always receive physical healing. Rather, Meyer argued that her teachings on healing are intended to encourage believers to trust in God's goodness and sovereignty, even in the midst of suffering. Despite Meyer's response, criticisms of her teachings on healing continue to be raised. Some critics argue that Meyer's teachings on healing are overly focused on physical healing and fail to take into account the importance of spiritual healing and emotional wholeness. Other critics argue that Meyer's teachings on healing can be hurtful and insensitive to believers who are struggling with chronic illnesses or disabilities. These critics argue that Meyer's teachings on healing can create unrealistic expectations and can lead to feelings of guilt and shame for believers who do not receive healing. Ultimately, the controversy surrounding Joyce Meyer's teachings on healing serves as a reminder of the importance of approaching the Christian faith with humility, sensitivity, and a commitment to nuance and complexity. Despite facing numerous challenges and criticisms throughout her life, Joyce Meyer remains an iconic figure in the Christian world, inspiring countless individuals with her unwavering faith, resilience, and compassion. Her legacy continues to be a beacon of hope, reminding us that with determination and trust in God, we can overcome even the most daunting obstacles. Her life has been a testament to the human spirit's perseverance, forgiveness, and love. As she continues to spread her message of hope and inspiration, her story serves as a powerful reminder that our trials can become the catalyst for transformation, and that with faith, we can rise above adversity and fulfill our purpose.
Everybody thinks, oh my gosh, you're on TV. For me, I am a veterinarian first.
Dr. Jan Pol, star of The Incredible Dr. Pol, is surprisingly humble even though he has a lot of fame and fortune. With an estimated net worth of $1 to $1.5 million, he still leads a modest life in rural Michigan. He prioritizes his passion for animals and community over wealth. He grew up on a Dutch dairy farm, and his dedication to affordable veterinary care shaped his values. Curious why Dr. Pol stays so grounded? Let's uncover the heartwarming truth behind his modest lifestyle. A philosophy of hard work and resilience. Dr. Jan Pol, famously known as the Incredible Dr. Pol, embodies the values of hard work and resilience. His journey from a humble Dutch dairy farm to becoming a globally recognized veterinarian and TV star is a testament to his dedication and grit. Dr. Pol's life is not just about fame. It is about overcoming challenges, staying true to his roots, and tirelessly pursuing his passion for animals. Dr. Pol's foundation of resilience was laid early in his childhood, growing up on a dairy farm in the Netherlands. Surrounded by rolling pastures and hard-working hands, he learned the value of labor and the importance of caring for animals. These formative years instilled in him a sense of responsibility, perseverance, and a deep respect for the creatures that shared his world. Watching veterinarians treat farm animals sparked a lifelong dream in young John to heal and care for animals. A dream that would guide him through every challenge ahead. After earning his veterinary degree from Utrecht University, one of the world's top veterinary schools, Dr. Paul faced a competitive job market in post-war Europe. Limited opportunities in the Netherlands forced him to make a bold decision. He would start fresh in the United States. Armed with his degree, determination, and the support of his wife Diane, Dr. Paul moved to rural Michigan in the 1970s. The transition was anything but smooth. He had to adapt to a new culture, navigate financial hurdles, and prove himself as a skilled veterinarian in an unfamiliar land. Dr. Paul's resilience shone through as he built his career from scratch. He worked tirelessly at local clinics, earning a reputation for his no-nonsense approach and unwavering dedication. In 1981, with Diane's support, he took the leap to open his own clinic, Paul Veterinary Services, in Weidman, Michigan. The early days were marked by financial struggles and long hours. Diane managed the clinic's finances while raising their young family, often sacrificing her own comfort to help Dr. Paul achieve his dream. The challenges of rural veterinary work tested Dr. Paul's limits. He braved harsh weather, traversed long distances, and handled large animals under difficult conditions. Whether it was delivering a calf in the middle of a snowstorm or performing emergency surgeries, Dr. Paul always prioritized his patients. His dedication came at a personal cost, with countless missed family dinners, school events, and bedtime stories. Yet, his determination never faltered. Over time, word spread about the compassionate veterinarian who treated every animal, big or small, with the same level of care. Farmers and pet owners trusted him not only for his expertise, but for his genuine understanding of the bond between people and their animals. His hands-on approach and work ethic became the cornerstone of his clinic's success. Building a veterinary practice from the ground up building. A successful business is no easy task, but doing so in a new country with limited resources takes extraordinary determination. This was the journey of Dr. Jan Paul and his wife Diane, who turned a modest idea into a thriving veterinary practice that would one day impact thousands of lives. Their story is one of hard work, sacrifice, and an unyielding commitment to their passion for animals. Dr. Paul's dream of becoming a veterinarian began in his childhood on a dairy farm in the Netherlands. It was there, surrounded by rolling pastures and hard-working farmers, that he developed a deep respect for animals and their care. After earning his veterinary degree from Utrecht University, Dr. Paul realized his career opportunities in post-war Europe were limited. Driven by ambition and a desire to provide better opportunities for his future, he and Diane decided to take a bold leap and move to the United States in the early 1970s. Settling in rural Michigan, the Pauls faced numerous challenges. Adapting to a new culture and building a career in an unfamiliar land was far from seamless. Dr. Paul began working at a local veterinary clinic, quickly gaining a reputation for his no-nonsense approach, tireless work ethic, and compassion for both animals and their owners. Yet, the dream of owning his own practice never left his mind. In 1981, after years of saving and preparation, Dr. Paul and Diane took the plunge and opened Paul Veterinary Services in the small town of Weidman, Michigan. The clinic started humbly, operating out of a modest structure with limited resources. The early days were grueling. Financial pressures loomed large as the couple worked tirelessly to build their clientele. Diane managed the clinic's finances while raising their young family, often juggling the dual responsibilities of motherhood and business management. Dr. Paul's work ethic became the cornerstone of the clinic's survival. He was willing to travel long distances to treat animals, no matter the time or weather. From delivering calves in freezing winter storms to performing emergency surgeries on pets, Dr. Paul approached each case with unmatched dedication. Farmers and pet owners alike began to trust him not just for his expertise, but for his unwavering commitment to their animals' well-being. However, this level of commitment came at a personal cost. Long hours meant many missed family dinners, school events, and bedtime stories. Diane and their children would often wait by the window late into the night, watching for the headlights of Dr. Paul's truck as he returned home from yet another farm call. These sacrifices were heavy, but they were necessary to keep the practice afloat. As word spread about Dr. Paul's hands-on approach and genuine care, the clinic began to grow. By the late 1980s, Paul Veterinary Services had become a trusted institution in the community. The clinic served not just as a place for animal care, but as a lifeline for farmers and pet owners who relied on Dr. Paul's expertise and compassion. Staying grounded, despite fame and fortune. In a world where fame and fortune can easily lead to a life of excess, Dr. Jan Paul, the beloved star of The Incredible Dr. Paul, has managed to remain refreshingly grounded. Despite achieving significant success in the veterinary field and becoming a household name through his hit television show, Dr. Paul has not let fame change who he is at his core. His story is an inspiring example of how to stay true to one's values and roots, no matter how high one rises. Dr. Paul's journey began far from the glitz and glamour of reality TV. Born and raised on a dairy farm in the Netherlands, he learned the value of hard work and humility from an early age. His upbringing instilled in him a deep respect for animals and a commitment to helping others. Even after moving to the United States and establishing a successful veterinary practice, these values remained central to his identity. When The Incredible Dr. Paul premiered in 2011, it brought with it a wave of fame that most people could only dream of. The show, which follows Dr. Paul and his team as they care for a variety of animals in rural Michigan, quickly gained a loyal following. Viewers were drawn not only to Dr. Paul's impressive veterinary skills, but also to his warm personality and genuine love for animals. With each episode, his popularity soared, and so did his earnings, estimated to be between $30,000 and $40,000 per episode. However, instead of letting fame go to his head, Dr. Paul remained focused on what truly mattered: his work and the animals he cared for. He continued to run Paul Veterinary Services with the same dedication and passion that fueled him from the beginning. Dr. Paul often emphasizes that success is not measured by wealth or recognition, but by the positive impact one has on others' lives. His commitment to affordable animal care reflects this philosophy. He believes that every animal deserves quality treatment, regardless of its owner's financial situation. Living in rural Michigan, Dr. Paul and his wife Diane chose to maintain a modest lifestyle despite their financial success. They reside on a large property with plenty of space for their animals, but their home is not filled with extravagant luxuries. Instead, it's a place where they can enjoy family life, care for pets, and continue their commitment to the community. This grounded approach has helped them stay connected to their roots and the values that defined their early years. Moreover, Dr. Paul's humility shines through in his interactions with fans. He is known for being approachable and friendly, often taking the time to engage with viewers and share stories about his work. At public events and conventions, he treats everyone with respect, showing that he values the support of his fans. He understands that fame is fleeting, but the bonds he creates with people and animals are lasting. A commitment to affordable animal care. Dr. Jan Paul, the star of The Incredible Dr. Paul, is not just a well-known veterinarian. His philosophy centers on the belief that every animal deserves quality veterinary treatment, regardless of its owner's financial situation. This commitment to making veterinary care accessible has shaped his career and transformed the lives of countless animals and their owners in rural Michigan. From the very beginning of his journey, Dr. Paul understood the importance of caring for animals in a way that was both compassionate and financially accessible. Growing up on a dairy farm in the Netherlands, he witnessed firsthand the struggles of farmers and pet owners who often faced tough choices when it came to animal health. This early exposure instilled in him a deep sense of responsibility to provide care that was not only effective, but also affordable. When Dr. Paul and his wife Diane opened Paul Veterinary Services in 1981, they knew they wanted to create a practice that reflected their values. They aimed to serve the local community and ensure that all animals received the veterinary care they needed, regardless of their owner's financial situations. This mission became the backbone of their practice and continues to be a driving force in everything they do. Dr. Paul's commitment to affordable animal care is evident in his daily practice. He often goes above and beyond to ensure that all pets and livestock receive the necessary treatment, even if it means working late nights or making house calls. His dedication to his clients is unwavering. He believes that every animal deserves the best care possible, no matter the circumstances. One of the key ways Dr. Pol keeps care affordable is by maintaining a no-nonsense approach. He focuses on providing practical solutions for animal health issues that don't break the bank. By being straightforward about treatment options and costs, he helps owners make informed decisions about their pet's health without the pressure of hidden fees or excessive charges. Moreover, Dr. Pol is known for his innovative techniques and resourcefulness. In rural areas, where access to advanced veterinary services may be limited, he often improvises solutions that are both effective and economical. This creativity not only helps his clients save money, but also showcases his deep understanding of animal care. Dr. Pol's commitment extends beyond his clinic. He actively participates in community events and outreach programs, providing free or low-cost veterinary services to those in need. For instance, during local fairs and festivals, he often holds educational sessions about animal care and offers basic checkups for pets. This outreach not only benefits the animals, but also fosters a sense of community by building strong relationships between Dr. Pol, the local farmers, and pet owners. Additionally, his television show has played a significant role in educating the public about animal care. Through The Incredible Dr. Pol, viewers gain insights into the realities of veterinary medicine, including the challenges faced by rural veterinarians. Dr. Pol uses the platform to highlight the importance of responsible pet ownership and the need for accessible veterinary services. Minimal indulgences and a modest lifestyle. In a world where fame and fortune often lead to lavish lifestyles and extravagant purchases, Dr. John Pol stands out as a refreshing example of simplicity and humility. Despite his success as the star of The Incredible Dr. Pol and his thriving veterinary practice, prioritizing meaningful experiences and relationships over material wealth. His approach to life is not only inspiring, but also serves as a reminder of what truly matters. Dr. Pol's upbringing on a dairy farm in the Netherlands shaped his perspective on life. Growing up surrounded by hard work, he learned early on the value of living within one's means and appreciating the simple things. His parents instilled in him a strong work ethic, and these lessons stayed with him throughout his life. Even after achieving financial success, Dr. Pol has resisted the temptation to indulge in luxury items or extravagant living. Instead of filling his home with expensive decor or high-end gadgets, Dr. Pol has created a warm and inviting space that reflects his love for family and animals. His property in rural Michigan is filled with the sounds of laughter from his grandchildren and the playful barks of family pets. The home serves as a gathering place for family, where shared meals and quality time take precedence over material possessions. This focus on family and community is at the heart of Dr. Pol's lifestyle. One of the few indulgences Dr. Pol allows himself is his collection of classic cars. However, even this passion is grounded in practicality. His love for cars is not about flaunting wealth, it's about appreciating craftsmanship and the joy of driving. Dr. Pol often shares stories about the hours spent restoring these vehicles, highlighting the hard work and dedication that goes into maintaining them. This hobby reflects his belief in enjoying life's little pleasures, while remaining rooted in the values of hard work and simplicity. In his professional life, Dr. Pol continues to prioritize affordability and accessibility in veterinary care. He believes that every animal deserves quality treatment, regardless of their owner's financial situation. This commitment to affordable care aligns with his modest lifestyle, as he focuses on helping others rather than seeking personal gain. By keeping his practice accessible, Dr. Pol has built strong relationships with his clients, many of whom appreciate his genuine care and concern for their animals. Furthermore, Dr. Pol's fame has not altered his priorities. He remains actively involved in his community, participating in local events and outreach programs. Rather than using his celebrity status for personal benefit, he dedicates his time to educating others about responsible pet ownership and animal care. His willingness to give back demonstrates that despite his success, he values service over self-promotion. Sacrifices for family and career. Dr. Jan Pol, the renowned veterinarian and star of The Incredible Dr. Pol, is a man who has dedicated his life to both his family and his career. However, this dedication has often come at a significant cost. Throughout his journey, he has made numerous sacrifices to balance the demands of his veterinary practice with his role as a husband and father. His story is one of love, commitment, and the tough choices that come with trying to juggle both worlds. From the moment Dr. Paul decided to become a veterinarian, he knew that his path would not be easy. After moving from the Netherlands to rural Michigan, he faced the challenge of establishing his practice from the ground up. With limited resources and a family to support, the early years were filled with long hours and hard work. Dr. Paul and his wife Diane were determined to build a successful clinic, but this ambition required countless sacrifices. In the beginning, Dr. Paul was often away from home, dedicating himself to his patients and their owners. He would make late-night farm calls and spend weekends tending to animals in need. While he was passionate about his work, the long hours took a toll on his family life. There were many missed family dinners, school events, and precious moments with his children. Diane, who managed the clinic's finances while caring for their young family, often found herself alone during these busy times. Together, they navigated the challenges, but the sacrifices were heavy. Dr. Paul's commitment to his practice meant that he often had to put his work ahead of personal time. His dedication to caring for animals sometimes overshadowed his family's needs. However, he was always aware of the sacrifices he was making. He wanted to provide a good life for his family, and it was this belief that kept him going during the toughest times. As the years passed and his clinic gained a reputation for quality care, Dr. Paul's fame began to grow. The launch of the incredible Dr. Paul in 2011 brought new opportunities and challenges, while the show introduced him to a wider audience and opened doors for his career. It also demanded more of his time. Filming often meant long hours away from home, leaving little time for family. Yet, he embraced the opportunity, knowing that his success could benefit his family in the long run. Despite the sacrifices, Dr. Paul always prioritized his family. He made a conscious effort to involve them in his life whenever possible. His children often accompanied him to the clinic, learning the ropes of veterinary care while spending quality time with their dad. These moments became cherished memories, blending work and family life in a unique way. As a grandfather, Dr. Paul's perspective has shifted. He understands the importance of being present for his grandchildren, and he strives to create a balance between his career and family time. Through it all, he has learned that while sacrifices are necessary, they should not come at the expense of meaningful relationships. Remaining connected to his community. Dr. Jan Paul, the star of the incredible Dr. Paul, is more than just a well-known veterinarian. He is a beloved figure in his rural Michigan community. Despite his fame, Dr. Paul has never lost sight of the importance of community, and he actively works to maintain those ties through various means. From the early days of his veterinary practice, Dr. Paul understood that being a veterinarian was not just about treating animals. It was about building relationships with the people who cared for them. When he opened Paul Veterinary Services in 1981, he set out to create a welcoming atmosphere where local farmers and pet owners felt comfortable seeking help for their animals. His warm personality and willingness to go the extra mile quickly earned him the trust and respect of the community. Living and working in a rural area, Dr. Paul has always appreciated the unique challenges faced by local farmers and pet owners. He understands that many families rely on their animals for their livelihoods, and he has made it his mission to provide affordable and accessible veterinary care. By prioritizing the needs of his clients, he has fostered strong relationships that go beyond the typical veterinarian-client dynamic. Many people see Dr. Paul not just as a veterinarian, but as a friend and confidant. One of the ways Dr. Paul remains connected to his community is through active participation in local events. He frequently attends county fairs, agricultural shows, and other community gatherings, where he engages with residents and shares his knowledge about animal care. These appearances allow him to connect with people in a relaxed setting, building rapport and trust outside of the clinic. His approachable nature makes it easy for community members to approach him with questions or concerns about their pets or livestock. Dr. Paul also takes his commitment to community service seriously. He often holds free or low-cost veterinary clinics for families in need, ensuring that every animal has access to the care they require. By providing these services, he helps alleviate the financial burden that can come with veterinary care, allowing families to focus on their animals' health without the stress of hefty bills. This generosity strengthens his bond with the community and reinforces his belief that every animal deserves quality care. His television show has also played a significant role in connecting him to a broader audience while still emphasizing local roots. Through The Incredible Dr. Paul, viewers get a glimpse into the realities of veterinary life in rural Michigan, showcasing the challenges and rewards of caring for animals. By sharing his experiences, he inspires others to engage with their own communities and advocate for animal care.
In a shocking turn of events, Hollywood heartthrob Brad Pitt has finally broken his silence on a long-rumored suspicion that has left fans and followers speechless. After years of speculation and intrigue, Pitt has revealed a stunning truth about none other than media mogul Oprah Winfrey. The bombshell revelation promises to upend everything we thought we knew about these two beloved icons and their intertwined worlds, including the secrets behind Brad's past unlucky relationships. What did Brad Pitt reveal, and what will this mean for Oprah? Join us in this video as we delve into the shocking truth Brad Pitt revealed about top TV personality Oprah Winfrey. William Bradley Pitt, famously known as Brad Pitt for short, is an American actor and film producer well known and admired for his stunning good looks. Throughout his prominent career, Brad has starred in high-profile movies with excellent reviews that garnered him various accolades, including 2 Academy Awards, 2 British Academy Film Awards, 2 Golden Globe Awards, and a Primetime Emmy Award. One of the most influential celebrities, Pitt appeared on Forbes' annual Celebrity 100 list from 2006 to 2008, and the Time 100 list in 2007. However, the reputation of his infamous love affairs precedes that of his history as an iconic actor. Perhaps it was the perfect match of a charismatic character, successful career, and charming appearance. But starting from the late 1980s to the early 1990s, Pitt was romantically involved with several high-profile, gorgeous women. Most were his co-stars, including Robin Givens, Jill Schoelen and Juliette Lewis. Pitt was 27 and Lewis was 17 at the time of their relationship. Subsequently, Pitt had a much-publicized romance and engagement with his Seven co-star, Gwyneth Paltrow, whom he dated from 1994 to 1997. In 2022, he began dating Inez de Ramon, age 29, a jewelry designer. It was in 1998 that Pitt met actress Jennifer Aniston, his first wife. The two got married in a private wedding ceremony in Malibu on July 29, 2000. It was all going well at first. Their relationship was admirable in the public's eye. However, a few years later, in January 2005, Pitt and Aniston suddenly announced they had decided to separate. 2 months after the announcement, Aniston went on to file for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Their divorce was finalized by the Los Angeles Superior Court on October 2, 2005. Despite media reports that Pitt and Aniston had an acrimonious relationship, Pitt said in a February 2009 interview that he and Aniston check in with each other, adding that they were both big parts of each other's lives. However, controversies arose when, during the divorce proceedings, Brad's involvement with Mr. and Mrs. Smith's co-star Angelina Jolie was discovered, attracting media attention that raged on like a fire that couldn't be quenched. Jolie and Pitt stated that they fell in love on the set and that there was no case of infidelity, but the suspicions only got worse. In April 2005, 1 month after Aniston filed for divorce, a set of paparazzi photographs emerged showing Pitt, Jolie, and her son Maddox at a beach in Kenya. The press interpreted the pictures as evidence of a relationship between Pitt and Jolie. Throughout 2005, the two were seen together with increasing frequency, and the entertainment media dubbed the couple Brangelina. On January 11, 2006, Jolie confirmed to People that she was pregnant with Pitt's child. thereby publicly acknowledging their relationship for the first time. But it was only after 7 years in April 2012 together that the two, finally Pitt and Jolie, announced their engagement. By August 14, 2014, they were legally married and had their wedding in a private ceremony at the Château Miraval, France, on August 23, 2014. But there seemed to be something wrong in Brad's love history. Just like his first marriage, the second ended in shambles.